You ever stop to think about what really happens when we close our eyes and surrender to deep sleep? And what if I told you that every night when you fall asleep, you do so much more than just rest your body? What if sleep is actually a rehearsal, a silent training for one of the greatest mysteries of human existence? How many times have you woken up with the feeling that you were somewhere else, that you experienced something impossible in the physical world? Have you ever felt as if you visited a loved one who has passed away? Subscribe to the channel and leave a like to get access to more stories like this. Today we're going to challenge everything you think about sleep. Get ready. This video isn't about biology or the science of sleep. It's about the crossing between worlds, about what happens when, during sleep, the soul finds its way beyond matter. And before we go any further, I want to ask you something. Like this video right now, hit the bell and subscribe to the channel. That way, you help us bring hope and knowledge to more people who are looking for deep answers about life, death, and what lies beyond. Ready to see sleep with different eyes? Then take a deep breath and come with me. Imagine death not as a sudden thunderclap, but as the soft extinguishing of a candle that, after lighting up a room, simply goes out and leaves behind a comforting silence. Unlike dramatic deaths filled with pain and fear, death during sleep has been described by many as a gentle shutdown. There's no struggle, there's no resistance. It's as if the soul, tired from the journey, simply rests and continues on its way without any shocks. Think about the difference between yanking out a plug abruptly or gently turning off a light switch. The body falls asleep, and the soul slips out smoothly. For centuries, this phenomenon has intrigued mystics, doctors, and the families of those who left this way. The absence of suffering, the peaceful expression on the face, the calm environment, everything suggests that a special transition is taking place, something that goes beyond the simple biological end. Could it be that sleep prepares the ground for a painless departure? Could it be that, in those moments, there's an unseen welcome waiting for us? The mystery is only just beginning. Maria was 79 years old. Every night before bed, she quietly prayed with a serene smile. That very night, her daughter noticed something different. Maria seemed to be dreaming, murmuring beloved names, smiling at nothing. At dawn, they found her still with that expression of peace, as if she had just reunited with old friends. Robert, a man who never believed in spirituality, reported vivid dreams days before his departure with bright places and familiar voices. He told his wife, "If I don't wake up, know that I'm fine. I feel like someone is waiting for me on the other side." James, who loved music, passed away during a deep sleep. What caught people's attention was the radio, which mysteriously played his favorite song just before his departure, as if the soundtrack to his crossing had already been chosen. Margaret, for her part, told her granddaughter the night before that she had dreamed of kindergarten, filled with cherished people. "It was like coming home," she whispered, before quietly saying goodbye in her sleep. These stories are not rare. They echo in homes all around the world, and each one carries a message. The passage during sleep is often marked by encounters, gentle farewells, and signs that defy a materialist explanation of life. But what really happens to our spirit while we sleep? Are dreams merely reflections of the brain, or is there something much deeper at work? Mystics from different traditions say that in dreams the soul partially detaches from the body, exploring subtle realities and reuniting with places and people we love. The famous Swiss researcher Carl Jung used to say that in dreams, the soul speaks the language of the eternal. Out-of-body experiences, those sensations of floating above yourself, visiting other places, and talking with loved ones who have passed, are reported by thousands of people. These phenomena, far from being mere illusions, seem to prepare our consciousness to someday make that final crossing. Like an athlete training night after night for a great marathon, our soul rehearses detaching from the body, learning how to navigate dimensions beyond time and space. Recurring dreams of flying, of encountering portals, or walking through doors. Maybe they're not just a product of your imagination. Maybe they're subtle memories of spiritual training, getting you ready for that grand passage when the time comes. And what if every night we were in fact practicing for the greatest jump of all? Imagine for a moment the feeling of waking up inside your own dream, You realize you can fly, pass through walls, talk with people who are no longer in this physical world. And what if I told you that during sleep, your consciousness is already rehearsing the process of breaking free from the bonds of the body? At the moment of death during sleep, that transition happens so smoothly that many say they didn't even realize they had left the body. There's no noise, no shock, just expansion, like a bird that finally understands it was born to fly. Freed from physical limitations, the consciousness begins to experience a new way of existing. Time stops being linear. Fear disappears. The body, once so present, becomes just a distant memory. Mystics, mediums, and near-death researchers describe this moment as an awakening to a broader reality, where our understanding of who we are expands far beyond everyday life. Ask yourself, how many times have you felt that there is something in you that never ages, that never gets tired, that remains curious and vibrant despite everything? This is the spark of a greater consciousness, rehearsing the freedom that one day will be definitive. During sleep, we are invited to experience that freedom, to lose the fear of the unknown, and to glimpse, even if just for a moment, what awaits us beyond the veil. Now, imagine that you're not alone on this journey. Accounts from people who have experienced near-death situations, and also from family members who witnessed departures during sleep, often mention loving presences by the bedside. They are deceased relatives, friends from other lives, or beings of light radiating peace and warmth. How many of us have dreamt of a grandmother, a father, a child, feeling a presence so real that it seemed more alive than waking life? Many believe that these encounters aren't just longing, but real visits, moments when the soul receives guidance and comfort from spiritual guides. There are touching stories of people who, on the night before their departure, dreamt of parties, reunions, or walked through portals of light accompanied by protective figures. These synchronicities defy logic. Clocks that stop at the exact moment of passing, animals reacting in unusual ways, shared dreams among distant family members. According to spiritual traditions, these encounters have a profound purpose, to ensure that no one crosses over alone. The guides act as beacons, dispelling fear, embracing with love, and showing the way to the new spiritual home. Have you ever felt like you weren't alone, even in silence? Ever felt a comforting shiver, an inexplicable peace? Perhaps, at that moment, some guide was by your side, preparing you or someone you love for the next stage. When the physical body is left behind, something extraordinary happens. Consciousness expands, freeing itself from old limitations. Imagine being aware of thoughts without words, communicating without speaking, telepathy, seeing beyond the walls of your room, sensing someone far away, clairvoyance, or being in two places at the same time, visiting loved ones and exploring parallel realities, bilocation. These abilities, as described by people who have experienced out-of-body phenomena or recall lucid dreams, are considered normal on the spiritual plane. They aren't superpowers, but natural attributes of the soul, which can now explore multiple dimensions, times, and realities all at once. It's as if, by crossing the portal of death in sleep, we remove a blindfold and realize that our existence was always much greater than we ever imagined. Have you ever felt in a dream that you could communicate without speaking? Or known something important about someone far away without knowing how? These are clues that the soul, in a state of freedom, taps into levels of perception that escape everyday logic. On the spiritual plane, time is flexible, space is malleable, and love is the force that connects everything. This new consciousness doesn't erase who we were. It expands, integrates, heals. And what if you could remember all of this when you wake up? What would change in the way you live in the now? Now imagine that when crossing from sleep into the spiritual realm, your consciousness meets a profound experience, the life review. But forget about that idea of a tribunal, judgment, or condemnation. Numerous near-death accounts describe this process as a compassionate dive into all the emotions, choices, and encounters that have marked your existence. You rewatch not only what you did, but how you felt. And even more, you feel the impact of your actions on the hearts of others. It's like watching a movie in which you are both the main character and an observer, but now with the clarity of deep empathy. This review isn't meant to punish, but to help you understand and grow. It's a sublime opportunity for spiritual healing, where old wounds are seen in a new light, and where the soul realizes how much it has evolved and how much it can continue to evolve. The emotional vibration you carry at the moment of transition influences this initial experience. A peaceful death, filled with love, the crossing is gentle and welcoming. A death marked by fear or anger, there are more challenges, but always opportunities for a new beginning and learning. There is no final destination, only new stages of evolution. With each review, the soul says goodbye to old burdens and prepares for even higher flights. Have you ever thought, if you could rewatch your life right now, what would you like to heal? What chapter would you like to rewrite? A death during sleep, being so peaceful, often opens doors to a loving and liberating review where forgiveness and hope prevail. If death were truly the end, why do so many feel the comforting presence of those who have passed? The bonds of love built over a lifetime don't vanish with physical departure. They change form, cross dimensions, and continue to manifest in dreams, signs, and inexplicable encounters. How many people have woken up with a sense of being hugged, that familiar scent in the air, or a clear message in a dream just when they needed comfort the most? Accounts from the bereaved bring touching stories. Clocks stopping at the exact moment of passing, birds appearing at the window, songs playing at just the right moment, little children talking with invisible friends and bringing messages from those who are gone. These phenomena, far from being coincidences, are seen by many scholars and spiritualists as attempts by the spirits to comfort, show their presence, and ease the weight of grief. True love, the kind that transcends time and space, finds ways to say, "I'm okay, I'm not far away, I'm still taking care of you." Have you ever received an inexplicable sign from someone who passed? Ever felt the need to thank or forgive, even after saying goodbye? Know this, these connections remain alive and serve as a balm for both sides. Death during sleep, because of its gentleness, fosters this affectionate communication, since the soul departs in peace and can more easily return to visit, soothe, and inspire those left behind. Now that you've walked with me on this journey of mystery, comfort, and hope, I want to ask you, how would your life be different if you saw sleep not just as rest, but as a sacred rehearsal for eternity? Death during sleep, far from being something to fear, can be seen as one of the most beautiful forms of transition, gentle, protected, full of encounters and new beginnings. Every night, as you fall asleep, your soul prepares for new dimensions, reviews its lessons, reunites with past loves, and strengthens itself for what is yet to come. The end is really just a new stage. Love, consciousness, and evolution are eternal. And if you felt this calling, if you want to understand more about the mysteries of the soul, dreams, and life after life, subscribe to the channel now. Leave a comment sharing your experiences. Share this video with those who need comfort and hope. Together, we will turn the fear of the unknown into trust and grief into light. The journey doesn't end here. It only expands, night after night, sleep after sleep, life after life. And you, are you ready to discover what lies beyond the veil? Allow yourself, in this moment, to feel the silence that comes before sleep. Close your eyes for a moment and notice there is something inside you that never sleeps, that observes, learns, and grows. That something is your essence, the immortal spark that moves through nights, lives, and dimensions. When death comes during sleep, it isn't a sudden interruption, but a gentle passage, an invitation to return home, to reunite with everything familiar, with all that is love. There is no loneliness in this journey. Guides, family members, and beings of light accompany every step, celebrating your arrival as if welcoming a beloved child back into their arms. Your story doesn't end with a period, but with a comma. What you love, what you learn, what you build, remains and transforms. Every night, your soul practices detachment, courage, and trust in something greater. And with every dawn, it brings back fragments from that other side, in the form of intuition, dreams, inspirations, small, inexplicable certainties that life has meaning. So never underestimate the power of your dreams. Never ignore that soft voice whispering hope when everything seems dark. Death during sleep is a reminder that you are part of something grand, a continuous flow of evolution and love. If this video touched your heart, share it. Leave a comment, tell your story, and inspire others with your experience. Subscribe to the channel to continue this journey of self-knowledge, hope, and light. Because in the end, we are all just waking up from a great dream, ready to live and to live again the mystery of existence. Subscribe to the channel and leave a like to get access to more source stories like this. Thank you for being here. See you in the next video. And until then, remember, no night is so dark that it can extinguish the light of your soul.